Chapter 47, A Sudden Rift Between Brothers on Christmas Eve. Riel unconsciously narrated to Hyun-ki her experiences during the Christmas season in her college days. At the same time, Hyun-ki was unaware of Riel's story until he realized Riel had somehow recalled some things from her past. Do you remember your Christmas activities during college? Does it mean your memory is coming to the surface? Riel looked at Hyun-ki intently, then replied, I think so, Hyun. I gradually remember things, and Hwan was always optimistic about the things I recall because he was always with me, though not most of the time, Riel added. Oh, Rieler, you're making me so happy. Do you think Hwan Chul could be a big help to make you remember those missing pieces? Asked Hyun-ki. Toning with Nancy would help greatly in making me recall things because she was always with me more than Hwan Chul. I guess I have to be with Nancy most of the time too. What do you think? If that could help, why not? I am so excited to have you back to normalcy, my babe. My plans for us will become a reality after all? Riel tickled Hyun-ki and asked romantically, what will become a reality, my love? Hyun-ki hugged Riel and whispered, you'll see. Both remained in each embrace until Hyun-ki told her it was time to let her go. I'll be with you and your family tomorrow, babe. Will that be okay? Hyun-ki asked. Of course, babe. You have to be with us? It is our first Christmas together, but tonight, you will spend time with your sister doctor. Hyun-ki brought Riel home, and Mrs. Kalma was there to meet them. I would be happy to have you tonight at our Christmas Eve celebration. Hyun, I would be glad to, ma'am, but I'm so sorry to decline your invitation. My sister, Sumi, will be returning home from her internship in the hospital, and she only had Christmas Eve to spend with us because she will return to the hospital the next day, Christmas Day, explained Hyun-ki. Mrs. Kalma smiled and said, I understand. So you will also have a doctor in the family? That's nice. But I will be here tomorrow to spend Christmas with you if you won't mind, asked Hyun-ki. I am happy to have you this Christmas, Hyun, and it is our first family Christmas together, said Mrs. Kalma. That same evening, Hyun-ki entered the house, cheerfully walking through the lobby, when he overheard Sumi and Hwan Chul talking, and it was about Hyun-ki's return to Korea. He stopped and hid behind the wall that enclosed part of the living area. But why did you do that, Hwan Chul? You knew Hyung was so in love with Riel, remarked Sumi. Do I have many choices, Simi? How about me? I've been working my head here to help Riel regain her memory, and I cannot let them marry when she is still missing a part of her memory, explained Hwan Chul defensively. But having Hyun-ki forced into marriage with that Elizabeth Park supposedly for you, don't you feel any remorse if that marriage happened with Hyun-ki? Are you sure Riel would choose you if she regained her memory? Sumi stressed in a high tone. We were so much in love, if only that accident didn't happen, and I am confident that her love would still be as it was when she finds me in her memory, Hwan Chul was insistent. But what you did was not right, Hwan Chul, and maybe I could not forgive you if that marriage pushed through because you put our brother to a miserable life that he does not deserve. What if Riel still loved Hyun despite finding you in her memory? Where will that leave you? Hyun, where will that leave you? Hyun-ki spoke in an angry tone while he was walking toward them. Much to their surprise, Hyun-ki held Hwan Chul's collar as he expressed his dismay and anger toward his brother. How could you sell me out? Brother. Come to think of it, I've been giving way for you to be with Riel because I believe you could help make her memory come back. But what did you do? You sold me out, man. I trusted you because you're my brother, and no brothers would betray each other. But look at you. Have you treated me as your brother by selling me out? For your greed and selfishness, to have Riel for your selfish reasons, you wanted to get rid of me? You should have killed me instead, brother. Hyun-ki was devastated and too stunned by Hwan Chul's action. He pushed Hwan Chul hard away from him and said, You disgust me. Hyun-ki was holding his temper with closed fists, and heaving heavily with air, he turned his back and walked away from his siblings. Sumi chased Hyun-ki, in a loud tone, saying, Wait, please, Hyung. Don't go. It's Christmas Eve. For my sake, let us fix this. With tears welling in her eyes, Sumi begged. Hyun-ki turned his face to Sumi, and seeing her crying, he returned and comforted her, then said, I'm sorry, Sumi. I have to go. I want to breathe. Celebrate Christmas without me. Then Hyun-ki left, took his car, and drove away speedily. Hyun-ki felt shattered. As he wanted to avoid a rift between himself and Hwan, he could no longer hold his anger over his brother's betrayal and felt anxiety about an imminent war between them. He left to help himself cool down. But while driving, He was still angry and could not hold himself to subside. He parked his car along a dirt road, descended, and started kicking a big sturdy tree with all his might until his energy was low. He sat on the ground, weeping and cursing in a language he only understood. He sat down there for how long? He didn't care. He loved his brother more than he loved himself. Even if he was the son of his mother's lover from her discreet affair with a man who almost ruined their family. His dad eventually forgave his mom because he knew he was also at fault for neglecting her, but despite that, Mr. Myung-han took the son and owned him as his. And because he had no brother and wanted to have one, he accepted Hwan too, and treated him as his brother. His mother's blood and his are one. He loved Hwan Chul and protected him. And now, where is this going? He paused his thoughts, trying to put his scattered senses together. A little longer, he subdued his emotions, got up, fixed himself, and went back to driving. It was past midnight when he returned to the villa. Sumi and Hwan Chul were seated by the dining table facing each other, both so quiet that one could hear even a pin as it dropped on the table. Hyunaki heaved a deep breath, walked toward the dining area, gave out a Duchenne smile, and then spoke. Was I late for the feast? Sumi was so surprised that she flew to Hyun Ki with open arms while Hwan Chul stood and went toward his brother and knelt before him, but Hyun Ki got hold of him before he could kneel and hugged Hwan Chul. No use of kneeling, I forgive you. What are brothers for? Hyun Ki and Hwan Chul hugged each other, and Sumi joined the hugging then said, group hug? The three were emotional and weeping. Then Hyun Ki said in a soft voice, Merry Christmas, my siblings. The following morning, Christmas Day, Hyun Ki woke up with Bigger and went down to the living area, still in pajamas over a robe. He wanted to catch up on Sumi, for she will leave for her hospital internship. Hyun Ki happened to catch Sumi and Hwan Chul making jokes as they gave each other their gifts, and Hyun, with folded hands, stood by and, in a croaky voice, made a sound. Ahem. Hwan and Sumi looked up and smiled, handing him their gifts. Wow, I never expected these, but I have some for you too. Hyun Ki took his gifts behind the significant Santa Claus near the Christmas tree and handed the gifts to each of them. The three siblings were overjoyed to have each other on Christmas despite the ruckus that happened among them. Then after their happy moments, they called their household staff, gave their gifts, and had a Christmas morning feast. Later that morning, after the Christmas together feast, Sumi said goodbye to her brothers and left with Mangben driving her to the hospital. Hyun Ki returned to his room for a shower but dialed Reeler's number first. During that time, Riel and her family were having their Christmas morning feast and were talking about their plans for the New Year's celebration when Reeler's phone rang. She saw on her mobile screen the name My CEO, which made her grin and reply cheerfully. Merry Christmas, babe. How was your Christmas Eve? She asked. Very fine, but could even be joyful if you were with me, Hyun Ki replied happily. Well, you should be here today so your day will become joyful. I missed you so much, babe. I missed you more, sweetheart. I'll be there before you know it, Hyun Ki replied, and after saying sweet nothings, they both disconnected their call. A little while, another call came on Reeler's phone. It was Hwan Chul. Merry Christmas, Mari, Riel replied. Merry Christmas too, Chul. Are you coming today? Hyun Ki's coming. Yeah, sure, I'm coming. A few hours later, Hyun Ki arrived with bags of gifts for Reeler's family and some Korean food that his chef had prepared. He came in with his van bringing along a number of his household staff to help prepare the food. Mrs. Kalma was overly surprised and joyful about Hyun Ki's indulgence for the family. Riel felt so proud of her babe for giving much importance to her family and the season itself, feeling joyous for it was their first Christmas together. No vessel of joy could measure how she felt. Then came Hwan Chul bringing in bags of gifts for Reeler's family, and everyone was so happy, making their Christmas day fun and joyous. It was nighttime when their get-together was over. Hwan Chul bid us leave, while Hyun Ki wanted to spend a little more time with Riel. While they were alone, Riel asked about Hyun Ki's trip to Korea. My dad asked me to come for a business venture, only to disappoint me because the business he wanted to enter was not merely about finances, but more on a contract with a woman stipulated with it. Reeler's brows met, trying to comprehend what he meant by a contract with a woman stipulated with it. Hyun Ki gazed through her eyes and explained, it was a business marriage contract. What? You mean you are given away for marriage? Reeler's sighs grew wide. Then with squinted eyes, she remarked, you didn't return here that fast, waiting for a moment to tell me that you're leaving me for good to make the contract possible. Did you? Asked Riel, her voice shaky. Hyunki was taken aback at Riel's sudden suspicion. No, Riel, you're getting me wrong. I didn't agree to that contract. In fact, Dad and I ended up with a grave argument that I guess it would take time before we speak again. Riel looked at Hyunki long, scrutinizing him to see if he was telling the truth, then abruptly asked, "Is she beautiful?" Hyunki looked into her eyes, stroking and caressing her hair, and after tucking a part of her hair behind her ear, he gently smiled and whispered, "No one can ever be more beautiful but you, my babe." Hyunki gazed into her eyes, then kissed her, and with equal passion, both kissed tenderly and lovingly, having lost in time. Keep following me on my YouTube channel and TikTok. Take advantage of more exciting episodes in the Windows of the Heart series.